Hi, I'm Chad Hess. I'm the Technical Director here at the Hospital Church, and I wanted to take just a minute to give you a brief tour of our new control room here from the Save the Worship Cafe project. I'll see people looking in here wondering, what's going on, what are all these people crowding in here, and so just thought we'd take a minute and explain what everything is and what everyone is doing in here. So, wanted to start off by talking about the desk itself here, because this is one of the overlooked features, but it was a really important thing that we did. This is all new. This entire room was gutted in the project. And this was built by Dmitry Terekov, one of our church members and some of his crew. And it looks very simple. He built the desk and the racks, but there were a couple little tweaks that we had him do to make it really work well for us. So one thing we did is, these racks go all the way across, and sometimes I need to access this equipment and don't really want to unscrew it all. So what we did is all the monitors are hinged on the wall there, so those can slide back, and the front of this lifts right up. So I can easily reach over and access the equipment in there very easily. It's just another little touch that we were able to do while they were building that for us. And then underneath, which is a little bit of, you may not see it, but there's a board running all the way across that all of the cables lay on. And that's for the cable management, and it just makes it all so much cleaner and so much easier to access. If you had seen the old system where all the cables are just bunched together and just big jumbled mess, so much better, looks better, easier to work with. So that was another really great thing. And then these cup holders here. These were made by Harry Armstrong. They're just simple little things, but they let our operators keep hydrated, keep awake, and keep their drinks away from the equipment. So there's a really great part there. So, but let's jump into some of the people here that are doing them. And I may use he or she, but we have both men and women on our team. They're both very valuable parts. We appreciate them. So if I say he or whatever, I'm not being discriminatory. I'm just using a shorthand, so I'm not saying he or she 1,000 times. So, okay, so we'll start over here with the broadcast slide position. We have two slide operators. We have one in-house doing the slides in there, and then we have another one here, and he's doing two different computers here. The first one here is our media computer. This is the computer that serves up the videos that play before service, in between services, and after the services are done. This one here is our CG computer. It does all of the lyrics and titles and stuff that you would see online on the lower thirds there. So they're following along. You can kind of see it's a kind of a green background, and that green gets keyed out, so it's just the text overlaid over the live video. And so that one person does both of these positions because they're not running at the same time. They can easily manage both of them. This one right over here, this is our shading station, and this is a bit of a new station for us that we have, but is a really important one. The basic job of a shader is to keep the brightness and color of the cameras consistent. So as you move from shot to shot to shot, they all look cohesive. They all look the same. So that's their basic job. And they have a number of tools here to help them do that. The first one down here is a control panel for the matrix router of all the inputs and outputs. So as they press the button here, they can jump between the different camera shots, and they can easily compare the brightness and how they look. So that's a really helpful piece. And then they also have 5 controller here. We have 5 fully controllable cameras, and these are the shaders for each of those cameras. And so as they adjust these joysticks, that adjusts the brightness up and down on those cameras. So there's also a series of monitors here that you can see. So starting over here, this monitor shows the a mirror of what's up front. The front screen in the worship center, the slides from there. So this way the broadcast slide operator can follow along with the words up there. This here is the program output, so they can see the output display, make sure the words are showing up right and everything like that, follow along there and see what's live. Over here at the shading station, this one is the preview. That shows the camera that's coming up next. That's really helpful for the shader so that they can adjust the shot before it goes live so that when it does go live, everything looks good. So they have their own spot right there where they can see the preview. And then this one, this weird looking monitor is called a Waveform Monitor. It's a bit of a scientific instrument to look at the brightness as well as just kind of using your eyes, but it shows the brightness and the colors and everything like that for whichever input he has selected there. So Backing back up a little bit, this monitor here at the top of their station, this is our broadcast reference monitor. There's always going to be a little bit of variations between monitors, and sometimes it can be tough to know what's accurate. What does it really look like? This is it. This is our most accurate monitor that we have in here, so we can know for sure that's what our picture looks like. So we put that here so that the shader person can really see everything and know that everything is good. So that's the shading position here, and of course you see you have some comms here for everyone to be communicating back and forth. Let's move over to the switcher and the video director positions over here. So the switcher is the person that's actually pressing the buttons on the switcher here. The video director is the person calling the shots and telling them which buttons to push. So, because sometimes this can get a little bit crazy, especially in some of the faster songs. You know, they'll be saying, okay, ready, 1, we're live on 1. 2, get ready, ready on 2, 5, give me a close-up of the guitarist. Okay, ready on 5, 4, give me the, and so it's just a lot of really quick, rapid fire back and forth. And so splitting up those duties of one person focusing on the monitors and calling and one person focusing on the equipment and pushing the buttons works really well. So, let me take a minute to talk about our monitors and the different inputs that we have here. So we have 8 different cameras here. We have 5 fully controllable cameras and then 3 static cameras. So camera 1 is on the north side of the worship center and camera 2 is on the south side. Those are our 2 main manned cameras back there. Camera 3 is the camera that's right up on the side of the stage, and it's what we're currently filming with. That's why it's black there. Camera 4 is a remote camera on the north side. Camera 5 is a remote camera that's right above the center doors, and so it gives us a nice center shot there. Camera 6 is a small little static camera in the drum booth, and camera 7 is a static camera that we move around wherever. Right now it's set up on the piano. Sometimes we put it on percussion, sometimes on strings. It just kind of depends there. And these are just small little cameras from Marshall. We love them. They can go wherever. Camera 8 is a fixed wide shot of the worship center. That one is particularly helpful for our broadcast audio person, because they can then see the entire room at one time and know who's coming and going. And it also makes for a nice wide establishing shot of the room. So this monitor shows us all of those 8 cameras and then preview and program. We can't fit all of our inputs on the one screen and still be able to see them very well. So there's another multi-view monitor down here. Of course, this is in front of our remote camera operators. So they have their controllers here that control cameras 4 and 5. And then, so they also use this monitor. That's why 4 and 5 are up top there, so they can easily see those. It also has our slide feed, which is again the projector in the front of the worship center, the input that's going there. Has our media computer that serves up the videos in between, and our CG computer that has the lyrics on the bottom. This is the feed of our broadcast output, which we do a little bit of a different thing with, and I'll explain that at the end, but that's why we have that there. And then down here is again camera 4 and 5, and then preview and program, so they can follow along there. This here is the brains of our communication system, which distributes out to the camera operators, broadcast audio, tech director, and everything. Multiple channels there for different lines of communication. And this is our hard disk recorder that records our services in very high quality that we can then edit down to post online and stuff like that. So then there's a little panel here and another one down there that are just extra inputs and outputs, easy connection to the system there. So that's everything here on this countertop. We also have a big tall rack over here that houses all the video equipment. There's a separate one for the audio for in-house, but this is all the video equipment, and I'm not going to go through all of it because there's just a lot of stuff in there. We packed it full to try and fit in this space, but all the different video processing and routing that's there, as well as monitors for our streaming computer, our chat that shows up in the worship cafes on the side, it comes from here, from these computers here, and then a reference of the broadcast to Florida Hospital and our stream online that we can kind of just see everything right there and make sure everything is working properly. I want to show you one other thing that we can do with our system that shows some of the power and flexibility that the new equipment offers to us. So we start our broadcast at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and that starts with our last week's worship service at 9 o'clock, and then going live at 10. And so last week's is coming off of the media computer there. But that 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock time is also a really great time to train some of our camera operators and our switchers and our shaders and stuff. And so we wanted to be able to really work with the system, but not impact that broadcast that was being fed out there. So what we did is we feed those broadcasts through an aux on our switcher so that we can do that separately. But we were running into an issue where when we went from the pre-recorded stuff to live, there was a lot of different buttons that we were having to change. We had to change the configuration on that aux, and we needed to remember to start and stop the recording, and we wanted to change the input on the TVs in the lobby so it goes from the announcements to the live video. And sometimes it's just really easy to forget one of those things. Well, the power of our switcher allows us to do all of that stuff with one button. So let me show you. We'll just come over here, and we have a preset here for live. So I'm going to press this button, and that's going to take us to the media computer. It's going to do a dissolve into a nice wide shot of the service. It's going to start and stop our recording on our hard disk recorder over here, and it's going to trigger a change in the TV in the lobbies to the live input there. And then when we're all done, we hit one button and it changes it all back the other direction. So this is something that's great. Make sure that everything that needs to get done does get done. Gives us that flexibility to have different outputs going to different places, and does it all in the matter of 1 second with the press of one button. So that's just some of the power that we have in this system that we never had before. We could have never dreamed of that kind of flexibility in routing, and that's just one little example that we have now that we didn't before. So thank you for watching this video, for joining with us in this ministry. There's a lot of people involved, a lot of people that make this happen. It can get kind of crowded in here on Saturdays, but it's a great ministry, and we're really happy that we can do this to provide this for our community. It's a really great example of how we can tear down walls and reach our community wherever they may be with the message of God and that friendship with Him. Thank you for being a part of us and supporting this ministry.